Hi, welcome. It's time for the town hall for today, and I am your host. It's also campaign update. I'm your host, Susan Maud Buchser-Lochocki, and yeah, I'm getting situated. So, I don't know, today is not my video day. I can't seem to find internet connection. I can't seem to get shade. So I am parked in the shade right now. I have ice in my hands. It's 85 degrees. And, you know, I'm just trying to do my job. So, after unsuccessfully trying to wash my car to cool it down, I eventually had to come up with another plan. But anyways, we're here together, and I'm trying to download videos from even yesterday that I made, but Facebook's giving me a hard time, and finding Wi-Fi that works is difficult. So I'm sort of at the mercy of Facebook and the Wi-Fi providers. I don't know why suddenly there's no internet connection, but this seems to be something that's going on. Anyway, these are my problems. I'm sure you have others that might even be more important. But anyways, it's nice to be here. So I'm going to try to cool down my phone, because that's another problem, is the phones are overheating. And let's see if we can get something going on. Okay, so I hope that works for at least a little while. Okay, maybe I cooled that down somehow. So, it's another day, another Sunday, another week in the scheme of things, and I don't know. I now seem to have a new group of people trying to investigate me for who knows what. I don't know. So I'm just really done with all of this BS, because you know, I'm a U.S. citizen that cares. So does that mean that every time I meet a new person, I'm under investigation again? This is just unreal. So I have 3 phones, 3 mobile phones. The reason why is because to get money when you're an artist from the different, so money funding out there, so like the Obama Foundation or the Gates Foundation or even the National Endowment for the Arts, you have to be a not-for-profit. So I started a not-for-profit called Modern Art Foundation Inc. And because it's a not-for-profit foundation, you have to keep everything separate, especially from political things. So I have that telephone number with my personal telephone number, so that there's no confusing my not-for-profit with anything political. Then I have a political telephone number for my presidential telephone that is separate. It's a very bad phone. It does very little. The connection's usually pretty bad, but it's there. So that's 2 phones in the United States, 2 U.S. phones. And then you know I lived for 20 years in Switzerland. And I have a business there, and I have friends and family there. So I have a Swiss phone too. So those are my 3 phones. That's it. 3 phones. 1 Swiss phone, 2 U.S. phones. 1 is my personal phone that has my foundation also going to there, and my business. So my business and my personal phone and my foundation are all on the same thing. And then I have a presidential phone number. So there you have it, folks. For anyone who is out there wondering why I have 3 phones, I think I've done this before, so now I'm telling you again. So please, stop with the harassment. I'm really tired of it. And I guess the other part is I'm very frugal. So right now I'm getting through life with maybe about $5 a day. $5 a day. Between a little bit of gas and a little bit of food and, doing things in a good way, I'm trying to live way under a normal budget. And I'm succeeding. So if that bothers you too, that I'm not spending enough money, I spent enough money the first year I was in the U.S. I spent tons of money. Don't worry about it. And I paid lots of taxes. And I'm still paying taxes now. On everything I buy, I pay taxes. Even though West Virginia threw out my vote. I pay taxes, but they don't want my voice to be heard. And that is the biggest sin of all. So if anybody needs to be investigated, it is West Virginia's election division. Because they have no right to throw out a U.S. citizen vote. I had my passport, I had my driver's license. They had no reason to not count my vote. So I pay taxes every day, but the one time I get to have a voice, they threw it out. That's taxation without representation. And that's what got the Revolutionary War started in the first place. If you remember, between England and the colonies were not going to take that. So, Supreme Court, you have my lawsuit. You know what you need to do. This is unacceptable, and I'm not the only one. There are many others out there like me, whose voices are unheard, votes were thrown out, and this is unacceptable. The states have no right to do that. The 14th Amendment clearly states that no state has a right to infringe on U.S. citizens' rights and liberties. And my right is to have my vote counted. My liberty is to have my vote counted, and it was not. So everyone involved with removing my vote from being counted should be arrested and tried for treason. Period. End of story. And I'm tired of it. It's the Democrats and the Republicans who have done this. They're in it together, and they need to be stopped. This is unacceptable. Not only for me, but for you voters who also voices were not heard. Shame on the Democrats and the Republicans. You disgust me. So, what other stupid questions do you want to know about why I am in existence? Because I'm really tired of you sending your little monkeys to try and find out what I am and who I am. I am transparent. There's nothing hidden, nothing up my sleeve. I don't even have sleeves. So, I am an honest person, a hardworking, honest person, and I want my liberties and my rights. Period. If that makes me a bad guy, then you're on the wrong side. Sorry. So, what can I say? That's my campaign for right now. I have painted my truck with butterflies because I think the dove is too much associated with all sorts of other things, especially death. And peace and death is not what I'm hoping for. And I don't want it to be confused with, you know, World War III and, hey, let's bring on World War III and just kill everybody. No, that's not what. So I have switched to butterflies. See the butterflies behind me? And I have them all over my truck. And I even have a butterfly dress. And this is my new peace sign. It's from the Woodstock song that Joni Mitchell wrote, turning bombs into butterflies above our nation. So I'm going to move away from the dove concept and move to butterflies for peace. Yeah, the dove is just being way overused in bad, you know, when people die, it's being used, and yeah, it's just so last century. So it's time to move forward and separate death from life, living peace, you know? We need to live in peace, not just have it when we die. You understand? Write it down. I learned that recently. I'm going to start using that. All right. So, yes, I have 3 phones. Write it down. I have 3 phones. 2 U.S., 1 Switzerland. Because people in Switzerland need to contact me, and people in the U.S. need to contact me. And then I'm running for president. I'm not running. I'm still a candidate for president. So I still have my candidate president phone. That's why I have 3 phones. Write it down. Then, yes, I'm living on $5 a day to prove that it's possible. I'm trying to be as frugal as possible. So write it down. Susan is frugal. She's trying to live within a budget. Yes. There you have it. I do need money. I'm going to start a GoFundMe campaign soon to fund my art career, and hopefully I'll get some money, but otherwise, yeah, that's where I am. I don't know. I'm waiting for the Supreme Court to act, so I'm sort of in limbo, just sitting here twiddling my thumbs, keeping busy, and still getting my message out. And yeah, that's about it. It is, you know, let me tell you about my $5 a day concept. So, you know, I have a coffee in the morning, I make it at home, and I use a little bit of electricity and some store-bought water. I don't have running water, so I can't use running water. But I do have rainwater for all other purposes. And it works. It does. I can water plants with it, I can clean myself with it, and I can use it to clean other things, so that is what's possible. So, yeah, I don't have a water bill. I have an electricity bill, but I hardly use electricity. I don't have any TVs. I don't watch video games or anything like that. I don't watch movies. I've seen them all. There's nothing new. It's boring. Hollywood is producing bad movies anymore. Who cares about who's going to kill who and, you know, how many times they're going to blow up something? It's boring, Hollywood. Write it down. It's boring. Make some real stuff about real people. On the other hand, we have Facebook, so we don't really need Hollywood anymore either, anyways. Facebook is more real. Then, yeah. So my biggest expense is, I guess, my telephones. You know, because I guess every day they cost something. So maybe I'm spending more like $6 or $7 a day because of my phones. You know? I guess so. Yeah. My phones are a lot. So that's why, you know, I'd like to finally have my lawsuit announced so that I can get rid of one of my phones. And then I don't have it anymore. That would be nice. What else? Yeah. I've gone, electric with most things, but I don't really do a lot of cooking, and I have a garden, and so I can make a fire if I want to cook outside. What else? Yeah. I guess, well, no, I have insurance too, so that boosts it up to about, maybe $10 a day is what I'm spending. A little bit on food. I often buy, if I go out to dinner, I buy extra so that I can have breakfast and dinner and lunch from it. So it's not just one meal, it's a couple of meals. And yeah. I didn't get time to get a garden going this year, but definitely next year I'll do that. Then I don't have any grocery shopping, really. I need to get a cow, and then I can milk a cow. And then I really don't have any grocery issues. Milk. Okay, I have a soda here. But I don't do this often. It's just because it's really hot, and you need to keep hydrated. Plus, you need to replace your electrolytes. And Coca-Cola is a good one for replacing electrolytes. Yeah, so what else? Yeah, I don't have a lot of expenses. So I got clothes that I already have. Okay, occasionally I buy something. So separate that out, and yeah, maybe it's $12 a day. But sometimes it's 5, and sometimes it's 8, and sometimes it's 12. So anyway, with my new artwork that I'm going to be doing, I guess now it's time to start talking about art, is I'm going to use the stuff that I already have. I know, that's a crazy concept, to use stuff you already have. And I'm just gonna find a way. So I have lots of different materials in, well, yeah, I guess I'm up to $15 a day, because I do have my studio rent in Switzerland. So, yeah. So about, $15 a day. Yeah, I guess so. But that's not bad, right? 15. But I do need money, and I need a job. So that's something I do want to say here. I cannot go on this way forever. And yeah. So I'll probably be starting one of these GoFundMe things. And let's see if people will fund me. I don't know how it works, but perhaps it's a possibility. So what else? I have not been listening too much to the news today and yesterday. It was Pride Day, and I had a concert, and those are some of the videos I'm trying to get online, but they're somehow not going online. And that's frustrating, because for whatever reason there's bad Wi-Fi. Maybe with all the flooding that we've been having, maybe there's a problem there, I don't know. But the signals are pretty weak right now. And what else? Yeah, I mean, the last time I checked, there was still a ceasefire, but just between Israel and Iran. So they're covering up that there's no ceasefire between Gaza and Israel, which I find this unacceptable, that they're trying to distract us with the Iran-Israel issue. So, I don't know. Something feels wrong. And I don't like what I'm seeing and feeling and out of Washington right now. Yeah. It's really hot this week. And today, right now, I found some shade and I cooled down my car with some water. But, yeah, it's pretty bad. But I think we got the 4th of July coming up. And we exactly declared our independence because of taxation without representation. And now here I am, 249 years later, explaining that my own U.S. government, the one who fought exactly against this, is now doing it to their own people. So shame on the Democrats and Republicans. This is unacceptable. Supreme Court, you need to act on my lawsuit, and we need to move forward into a healthier country that we can be. This is unacceptable. Taxation without representation is unacceptable. No. So, that's where I am, folks. I think that's enough. You don't really need to hear more from me. If anybody has a question about who I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing, please just ask me again. I know it's tough because you're not finding any dirt on me. And the dirt you're finding, I accept, So, there you go. Sorry. You're just going to have to listen to me. That's what you're going to have to do. Because you can't do anything else. Because you can't find any shit on me. So, There we go. So, you know what? Let's take a moment and just remember how good life, let's think about how good life can be. And let's think about what it means to be humane and to be a human. Because soon we have the advent of robots. So this is also something that's really big that's coming up, that's pretty scary. It could put a lot of people out of house and home, and then they're not going to have food. And it's going to be a slow and painful death. And this is unacceptable too. So, yeah. We got a lot to think about. So let's take a minute and think about a good way we could go forward. What's a good way to go forward? Okay. Truthfully, it's too hot for me to even think about a good way to go forward right now. But I will, and I'll put it in my Wednesday town hall. Okay, so I don't think I really have much more to say. Yeah. That's about it. So thank you for stopping by. I am Susan Maud Buchser-Lochocki. I am still a candidate from last election in 24. I did not concede yet, and I have a lawsuit pending with the Supreme Court about the legitimacy and the fraud and manipulation and the cheating in our election system. And if they go in my favor, then we will have a new election. And if we don't go in my favor, then we have to deal with the corruption in another way. But if you want to find out more about me and my lawsuit and the fraud in the system, you can go ahead to the my website, which is susan4usa.com. That's Susan, the number 4, usa.com. Yeah. That's it. Thanks for stopping by. I wish you a good day. Bye for now.